Hello once again dudes, my name is Emil and welcome to another XHTML tutorial. In this tutorial we're gonna have about a few things. We're gonna have about something called legend. So let's get started. First we wanna add something called a form. And I haven't told you about this before, but basically what a form is, it's like, well, we can just go ahead and make a really quick one saying use to post and see what happens. What a form basically is, and it doesn't show up because we haven't added any meat to it. I should probably add action to it. I'm gonna call this index.html so it don't run anywhere. And yeah, so what this basically is, the form is used to when, for example, if you're using PHP, you could, like, if you say like a form, a text area is a form, it's equals to, like, go ahead into a register page. So in the form basically just tells that you're going to be adding some kind of buttons or stuff like that. So that's basically what form is. Now we're going to have something called a field set. And the field set basically is like, how can I explain this? Well, we can actually just go ahead and run it and see what we have. A field set is like a little line that inlines something. You can use field set on a lot of things. I'm just using it here to make it look more nice. Now go ahead and add a label. And the label basically, by the way, should probably, yeah, we should add the legend first, of course. So the legend basically defines like a header and can be placed and adjust on different ways, but the legend basically does that. It gives it a header inside a field set. Now remember, the field set were these borders, kinda, right? So if we add the legend, it will give it a header in the middle of the border, basically. So if I said like programmer here and then run it, you'll see that it comes up like a title here in the middle of the border. So the legend basically does that. Now let's add some buttons and stuff. So the first thing we're going to add is a label. And the label basically just go ahead and makes a little how do I explain this? The label basically makes a button, or, well, we can go ahead and run and I can better explain it. The label, and we should probably give it an attribute for yes, and I will explain all of this later. We should probably go ahead and end the label here and see what happens. Of course, oh, gotta add one here as well. Alright, now we should have something. So basically, a label is something that belongs to something. Label belongs to an input type. We can add an input. We're going to add an input, and we're gonna use the type attribute, and the type we set it equals to is a radio. And basically what this is, it's a button. So if we go ahead and look, you see that it has a little button here. So the radio type is basically a button. I will give a name. I'm gonna call this yes, and the value is what shows on. I'm gonna do yes, and go ahead and then make another label for the next one, if you should choose to say. And for is basically just like the for attribute is just like an name ID you give it, basically. So go ahead and type in a no in here. That's the content. So you can also add another input, and we can just call this type, and it's gonna be another radio, of course, and the name is going to be no, the value is going to be no. Alright, so if we go ahead and run this, it looks pretty good. We have like no, yes, and so that if you want to make it more advanced, you can use another language, which we're not going to be working with right now. But I want to make it look a little bit more nice, so I'm going to add a break here. And remember, it's a single line, so close it again. And add a button. Using the button tag, the type is going to be submit. Yeah, submit, and the name is going to be button. Very basic ID we give it. The value is going to be button. It's not what it prints out on it, and this is what it prints out. I'm gonna send information. That's what it's going to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and close off the button, and we should be all set. I have got the field set and form. Yeah, looks good. So if you go ahead and run this, basically we have like you have here a border, which is the legend. Sorry, a border, which is the field set. You can use this on a lot of things. I will be giving you an example in the next tutorial on other things you can do. A header, which is the legend inside, and then input type equals to radio, which is button, and the button, which is the smaller, and the button, which will give it a value. So basically, that's it for this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next tutorial, guys.